So, this is my latest project. I happen to be sitting in my car, waiting for my wife. I believe she was shopping. And this came up on YouTube. I was looking at some YouTube videos, and I don't know how this ever came up, but it did, and it fascinated me. It's a game called Crokinole. And here's how you spell it. It's Crokinole. Never heard of the game before, but I watched a couple films and watched a couple tournaments, and I decided I want one of these. And so I went online and looked to see what you can get them for, and they come in all different prices. But anyway, I looked around the shop and I had some leftover plywood. And this whole thing is made out of plywood, with the exception of the ring. And I used 3/4 inch marine plywood for the top because that's what I had laying around the shop. And I used a 1/2 inch plywood for the base. And this outside piece here I did buy, and that's popular. It's a hardwood. And I used the hardwood because the softwood has a habit of spreading, and it's a little more fragile. With a hardwood, you can thin it down pretty good, and if you're careful, you can bend it without having too much problem. So anyway, it's a pretty neat game. It plays 1 to 4 people, and the object of the game is to have the most number of discs left on the board. And so this board here, on all Crokinole boards, the center hole here is 20. This area in here is 15. This area here is 10, and each of these quarters is a 5. Okay? This outside line here, and well, let me see, these division lines are for each player. So you have 4 players, or you can play with 2. Right? I believe you can play with 3. I haven't seen any just 3 players, and you can play partners. So you can do a lot of different things with this game. And the object of the game is to have more points than your opponent. And what makes this unique is that you fire these little discs across the board. Okay? And each player has its own color. And the object, like I say, is to go between the pegs and in the hole. And once you, say for instance, I shot one across and went in the hole, that would be 20 points for me. But if I landed somewhere, say here, and this person shot, they could actually knock mine right off the board, and they could go over into the gutter, and if they were a good enough shot, have that fall and get the 20 points. I would have nothing. So at the end of the game, okay, before the end of the game, I would take this piece out, be the next person, and they're going to try to shoot straight for the 20, and they may get it in, they may not, but now the next person in line and go ahead, and if they hit it hard enough, knock them off the board, or push them out to a lesser, say a 10-point area or a 5-point area, and they would be remaining in the 15-point area. So as it goes round and round, after you get through all 10 of your discs, you go ahead and you add up your points, and I guess the person with the highest number of points keeps it. I guess I think that's the way it works. So. But just playing one-on-one, it works that way. I don't know how it would work for 4 individuals playing. But you take it up to 100 or whatever number you decide you like to do. Professionally, I think they actually play 10 series of games with 10 discs. In other words, each game you shoot up to 10 discs. And after each of your 10 discs, that's the end of one game. And it's I guess it's kind of like tennis, scoring. But anyway, after you go through 10 games in a tournament, the person with the largest number of games won, of course, wins the tournament. But it wasn't real hard to make. The board itself measures, the playing area itself measures 26 inches across. The whole board measures 30 and a half. And these little discs measure 1.25 inches. And this hole in the middle is 1 3/8 inches. So you don't have a whole lot of room to get your disc in there. But I haven't played it yet. Waiting for my sons to come around, and I figured we'd have a little bit of fun with it. So if you're interested, you go on YouTube and you can look up the Crokinole, and you'll see they have tournaments on there, and it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty fast-moving game. I coated the top of this board. First, when I made this board, I stained it, and then I took a router and I put these lines in there. And then after that, I've used shellac, and I've used wax, and it's pretty smooth. I have a few areas in here where I used a power buffer, and this power buffer I have didn't quite fit in the middle. So I kind of stood it on its legs and kind of messed my finish up a little bit. I should have done it all by hand, but being impatient as I am, I actually burnt through a little bit of the shellac. So I fill it with wax, but they seem to slide really nice. I mean, things slide pretty good. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play. So that's my latest project. If you care to make one, there's all sorts of information on the internet about it, plus whatever I gave you. You really don't need too much information. It's not a very hard project. Just have to have patience and take your time. Don't hurry. I'm sure you can make one too.